So there's this guy that does this podcast and he talks or interviews with like CIA agents, director of the FBI and the CIA, just people that have top level clearance, people from the Pentagon. And he's talking to this guy that talks about the ant people and how they're an indigenous native species that lives in the earth. Check it out.
Who are these Agarthan beings? Where are they from?
Well, we have a few different species. We have a native terrestrial reptoid species that we often refer to as the raptor species. They live down there. We have a indigenous native insectoid species, which we kind of think of as ant people. They live down there. We also have species, some who are not from here but live and work there, but also the ancient Lemurians, Atlanteans, when some of them went, underground, that's where some of the beginning of some of the Agarthan cities that we kind of think of as run by the Nordics, these sort of tall, blondie, blue-eyed folks who were originally Lemurian Atlanteans but went underground. So it's a mixture of native terrestrial species, mammalian, insectoid, reptoid, as well as other extraterrestrial species who have either been stationed here or in some cases have moved here to work here in some of those cities for the same reasons that people travel to other countries for jobs there as well, because they want to go to another place and do a job there instead of staying home where it's boring. So it's a number of species, most who are native terrestrial born species and a few extraterrestrial species.
Are there any buildings or domiciles there, or do they just live in the ships?
Oh, no. There are cities that are massive where the populations can be in the millions of personnel. And they have, in some cases, high-rise structures that are more built into the rock of the planet. So you might see a very tall stalagmite that's, kind of connects the floor to the ceiling that's peppered with small apartments or buildings with windows and so forth in them that light up. It's pretty interesting to see, but some of them are very largely populated and have a lot of very advanced modern building structure that is blended into this cavernous structure.
What about this city under Egypt and the one under Antarctica? Are these also these Agarthan sites?
Correct. Yes, there was a major spaceport right at the edge and underneath Antarctica. My understanding, there's still a spaceport there, but not a very functional one. But the one that they've been uncovering through archaeological digs in Antarctica is probably one of the oldest known spaceports on planet Earth.
What do you mean when you say spaceport?
Well, an airport is a place where airplanes fly in and out of on some kind of regular, scheduled, regulated place. A spaceport is a place where spaceships come in and out and are trafficked on a regular basis. So spaceport is where spaceships come in and out.
So do they have these space towers to guide in the...
Well, they don't need towers, but they do have traffic control. So if you were coming in for a landing, you would have to communicate with traffic control, and they would tell you what path to take to land. Or if you were leaving, they would tell you what path they would request that you leave. So it's organized, controlled traffic. Yeah.
So why is it, Randy, that these craft are coming in and out of these spaceports, yet, they're not interfering with our air traffic?
It's import-export, people coming and going, goods and so forth arriving and leaving. So it's essentially, they're a port in the same way that we have other ports that stuff comes in and out. But a lot of that really has to do with the traffic lanes. So I live in Sedona, where there is a spaceport, and I have friends who have good military-grade night vision goggles. When we stand outside and look at the traffic lanes with the night vision, you can see them going in the east-west traffic lanes and the north-south traffic lanes at, faster than 1 a minute some nights. I've stood there with my neck staring up, seeing more than one ship a minute until my neck was so sore that I had to stop looking. So there could have been a whole bunch more after that, but it was like, oh, my neck's sore, I can't keep looking. And what we notice in the traffic lanes is that the ships have to go up really, really high from the port before they go into the traffic lane, or they have to come in really high into the traffic lane and then come straight down. It's rare, although I have seen it, where they come in kind of low and fast and at an angle like an airplane would. Usually it's because of a more urgent need or an emergency, but most of the time the traffic lanes are simply at a very high altitude, so they have to come in very high and then straight down and then straight back up and then back into the very, very high traffic lanes that are like well over 30, 40,000 feet probably. In the same way that we have airports that pick traffic lanes so that planes don't crash, they've picked a set of traffic lanes that are outside the normal FAA traffic lanes so that they don't interact with aircraft.